Yasu Malagedo. Welcome to the Malaka podcast. Bob Saget. So, we're 9 days into 2022, and already it's a pretty shitty year. So let's review, so far, who we've lost. Okay, we got Betty White, that I did a podcast on, John Madden, Sidney Poitier, Peter Bogdanovich, who directed The Last Picture Show and Paper Moon, and who also kicked ass in The Sopranos as Dr. Elliot Kupferberg.
The answer is a female opera singer and gangster. Da, 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 da,
Elliot!
Soprano. Tony Soprano? He's your patient?
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
Jesus Christ, Elliot.
Chill out. We're among friends. We're all professionals.
Fucking genius. Now, on top of everything, on top of all this, now we have Bob Saget, who a lot of people consider to be America's dad, or even the world's dad, has passed on. God, guys, give me a second here. God, I tried to talk to you during the whole Betty White podcast there. I don't know. I left you a voicemail, nothing. What's the plan here? Just, it's the 9th of January. We got 9 days in. Restrictions again with COVID. I don't know what it's like in the rest of the world, but I don't know, you can't go to a bar past 10 p.m. in Toronto until end of January. What are we doing here? What's the big game plan here? Okay, just nothing, eh? Okay, thanks. Point is, guys, this is already a very shitty year. Okay, and I was just hit with this news about an hour ago, and yeah, this sucks, man. This really sucks. Bob Saget was a pretty cool dude. A lot of people knew him for Full House and America's Funniest Home Videos. The odds of having one hit show in this world, okay, is slim to nil. He had two at the exact same time, okay? Years later, Full House became syndication, which is basically, once a network or just another TV station in the world picks up your show and, airs repeats. Hopefully around season 4 or 5, you get to do a show. You're lucky if you get that far. Most shows are lucky if you get past season 1. But yeah, at one point, Full House was being aired somewhere in the world every half hour. I don't know if it's still like this now. I wouldn't be surprised. Then you got a second chance to do it again on Netflix, for a whole new audience, next generation. It's crazy, And the thing I don't like so far is I'm seeing a lot of these news things, and, he was never a drug guy or nothing like that. They don't suspect foul play or nothing like that. But yeah, I know a lot of these dudes, and dudettes, they're implying that, it might have been drugs or something. Fuck off. Really, I get it. Comedians have that kind of, thing going for them. And, it's a bad stereotype anyway. I don't like that shit anyway. But at the same time, not everyone's the same. So, stop with that, okay? Bob Saget was a good dude. He helped out a lot of people. Very friendly guy. And, he worked his ass off for his success. Absolutely. And I was just on Google here, and Jim Carrey, who I love, one of the funniest people of all time. I grew up a kid in the 90s. I love Jim Carrey to death. He said here on Twitter, looks like beautiful Bob Saget passed away today at 65. He had a big, big heart and a wonderfully warped comic mind. He gave the world a lot of joy and lived his life for goodness sake. Couldn't have said any better. Yeah, so again, I mean, I know Bob Saget for that, but of course we're going to dig deeper into that. And if you guys don't mind, I like to go on Wikipedia like I always do, the free encyclopedia. And let's check out a little bit more about Bob Saget. Let's begin. Robert Lane Saget, born May 17th, 1956, and passed away January 9th, 2022, was an American stand-up comedian, actor, and television host. His acting roles included Danny Tanner on the ABC sitcom Full House, 1987 to 1995, and its Netflix sequel, Fuller House, which ran between 2016 and 2020, and the voice of narrator Ted Mosby on the CBS sitcom How I Met Your Mother from 2005 to 2014. From 1989 to 1997, he was the original host of the ABC series America's Funniest Home Videos. Saget was also known for his adult-oriented stand-up comedy, and his 2014 album, That's What I'm Talking About, was nominated for the Grammy Award for Best Comedy Album. Now, that's true. A lot of people grew up loving Bob Saget, thinking he's just, very nice guy. His sexual orientation was often, talked about. Is he that nice of a guy? I don't know. The point is, once you listen to his stand-up, you could tell he was straight as an arrow. So he had like both worlds there. I don't know if he did it just to piss off people or just to beat the whole Danny nice guy Tanner persona. But yeah, that was him, Maybe he was doing the best of both worlds. Who knows? But either way, really funny guy, very sweet guy. Good stories about him. You never really heard anything bad about him. I even heard a story one time. He was really close with Rodney Dangerfield. And one time he had him over for Thanksgiving or something. And he's in the kitchen there and just, prepping dessert, I guess, or whatever. Another dirty-ass joke. Who knows? But, and then his daughter comes in the kitchen and tells him, Daddy, Rodney's smoking. And Rodney Dangerfield is just smoking a big-ass fat joint in the living room, just like, not giving a shit, you know what I mean? But first of all, I love Rodney Dangerfield. I'm going to do a podcast about him one day for sure. But, again, like that's who Bob Saget was. He just let people in. He didn't give a shit who you were. That's it. So it says here in his early life, Saget was born in Philadelphia on May 17th, 1956 to a Jewish family. Yeah, shocker. His father, Benjamin, August 28th, 1917 to January 30th, 2007, was a supermarket executive. And his mother, Rosalind Dolly, born February 12th, 1925 to February 15th, 2014, was a hospital administrator. Saget lived in the Encino neighborhood of Los Angeles before moving back to Philadelphia and graduating from Abington Senior High School in 1975. So there you go. He's got good roots. The name Saget, the whole joke there rhymes with, listen, we're living in a very PC world. I'm not going down like that. The point is, okay, the guy worked his ass off. His parents worked his ass off. So they could make sure that he had a very good education. And yeah, I mean, it absolutely pulled off. For sure, with flying colors. I even heard that, he did stand-up for 10 years. He would host events there. The guy did a lot of shit, man. So, like I said before, he definitely earned his career. Because a lot of people, in today's world, you go online, maybe you could just pop up overnight or within a year or two, Back then, man, you had to hit the clubs hard, and especially in the 80s where it was kind of like, just kind of starting out. I mean, obviously they had comedians before that, but like 80s was like, you had to do a lot to stand up, to literally do stand up. I mean, just to, be known. And, VHSs were being introduced and some specials would be released on there. And, HBO would start doing their, comedic specials and stuff like that, and it just wasn't like today. You really had to work your ass off, and he did. Absolutely. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm just really saddened by this. Honestly, it's just, like I said, it just hit me about an hour ago, and yeah, it's crazy. January 9th, guys, 9 days into this shit. You believe this? Anyways, I found some random facts about Mr. Saget here, and again, I'd like to share them with you. He originally wanted to become a doctor. Now, hold on a second. Hold on. If I just want to make sure I hear you right. So you're saying a Jewish man with a very good education wanted to become a doctor. Moving on. Going from wanting to be a doctor to wanting to be a comedian and an actor is quite the contrast. I just want you to know, guys, I'm reading this off the website here. I'm not that articulate. So, nonetheless, before being encouraged by one of his English professors in college to pursue a career in performing arts, Bob wanted to be a physician. Again, guys, I've heard of Italian construction workers, Greek restaurant owners, but a Jewish doctor. I mean, that could work. Sure. He wrote a book called Dirty Daddy. I definitely pay homage to Full House. There's a lot of references, he told Argus Leader, whatever that is. I covered everything. It's a culture thing. There's a certain kind of culture, iconic thing with it. He was quoted, "Because the show is so immensely popular, it's funny because critics never liked the old one, and people just did. The critics, they love the newer one. It just makes me feel really happy." My mother passed away. This book, Dirty Daddy, explores how death and comedy are related and how comedy got us through a lot of difficult stuff. I can definitely vouch for that, guys. Most people, when tragedy happens, either get sad or mad, but I don't know, the crazy ones like me and the 4 people that listen to this podcast, resort to comedy. And making fun of things and just making light of a situation, with comedy, it does help, honestly. I can definitely vouch for that. He credits Full House for changing his entire life. No shit. The residuals alone. In an interview with Argus Leader, again, I have no idea what that is. I'm assuming it's a magazine. It's one of those like little books, like Reader's Digest, that you find in your parents' bathroom. And I don't know, there's nothing else to read there, you know what I mean? But, because you don't want to use your phone, because then people will give you shit like, oh, use your phone in the bathroom. Oh, you're dirty. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. He explained that he felt like Full House gave him an iconic reputation, similarly to any of the cast members from Friends or Seinfeld. And for that, he is forever grateful. It's true. When I was going on YouTube, when I found out that Bob Saget passed, someone made a reference to Full House being similar to Friends. Okay. Is it similar to Seinfeld? I don't think so. But, hey, teach his own. But again, yeah, it definitely changed his life. Holy shit. Changed the bank account, too. I mean, fuck me. Again, guys, you're lucky to get one hit TV show. He got 2. It's pretty awesome. He started doing comedy when he was 17 years old. That's pretty young. I started my comedy when I was 17, and I had wild jokes from the start. In fact, my first joke was, I have the brain of a German shepherd and the body of a 16-year-old boy. They are in my car. Do you want to see them? Okay, I get it. He's implying that he killed, the German shepherd and 16-year-old. So, I mean, this is just after Looney Tunes cartoons. Remember when the dog would come and he'd have like a barrel under his neck, with the booze? And, 16-year-old. I mean, this is way before Sandusky. So I got it. But the show Full House changed me, he went on. I felt like my voice was tainted because I had to serve that audience. If I cursed, it would have never been a big deal in my stand-up back then. Everything I do now is R-rated, he told Daily Northwestern. Yeah, it's true. Like I said before, you listen to. I remember my friend back in the day was telling me like, oh yeah, like he's a dirty comic. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. It's fucking Danny Tanner. He's a neat freak and all that shit. And who cares? OCD before it was cool. But yeah, he's a dirty motherfucker, man. And God bless him. His pre-show ritual is to spend a full 30 minutes in complete solitude. Ladies and gentlemen, if that doesn't scream out only child, I don't know what does. I learned that from being on Broadway. That half hour is a scared hour. Everyone focuses. The whole idea is to have kind of a meditated attitude before the show. As a comedian, you pace around and you look up your material and you try to remember it all, he told Argus Leader. It's true, I mean, you're about to go on stage, perform in front of a bunch of strangers, you have no idea what their reaction is going to be. They don't know you, as a dirty comic. They think of you as this clean-cut dude that they've seen on TV, introducing, monkeys putting fingers up their asses and smelling it, which is one of the first video clips I ever saw on the internet. But the point is, you just want to be left alone, meditate, chill for a bit, and go on there and just do your thing. I respect that. There was a point where he had regrets about being part of Full House. And then he saw the paychecks. Anyways, I was working 80 hours a week between Full House and America's Funniest Home Videos. Holy shit. I was going nuts. Yeah, no shit. I felt like I was funny, but didn't feel funny on the shows. Guys, I'm not going to lie to you. He was... Yeah, things were very clean cut back then. You know what I mean? It's not like today where, like you watch an episode of Family Guy and Peter will do crystal meth with his kid, It wasn't like that back then, I mean, they dealt with a few, like, eating disorders and shit like that. But that's it. I'm not trying to make that lightly. Don't give me shit for that. I'm just saying it was a different time. That's all. Remember on Growing Pains when, I forgot his name. The religious guy he used to hand out Bibles to everybody. I know they dealt with an episode with Coke and all that. And, I mean, that was even risque for its, for the time. Now, everybody's, just getting high on TV. Nobody gives a shit. But yeah. So, it was cheesy, and a lot of the jokes. I never understood that joke that he did on America's Funniest Home Videos. And then at the end there, you'd only see the guy's hand and he would hand him the fucking thing, and like, hey, you're looking good today. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. The face. Okay. So, yeah, it was cheesy, but, whatever. We let it pass because, we'd see like some fat people dancing or something. So, it evened out in the end. But then I just went, shut up. It's like the Giving Tree. You're lucky. And this is a good job, he told Daily Northwestern. which I'm assuming is a paper in Texas. So, yeah, it's true. I mean, like, dude, you got a good thing going, okay? Just, who cares? Ride the shit out, do what everyone else does. Do a whole bunch of shit in Hollywood that you regret and make a book about it when you retire. That's it, Mark Wahlberg in an interview, I don't know, he implied a bunch of shit. Like he's got some things he wants to say, but he's going to save it for another day. See, that's what, you do. You're making 20 mil a film, just, let it go. Who cares? Talk about it later. While many fans think that his first break was on Full House, it was actually on CBS's The Morning Show. Before landing the gig that changed his life, Full House, Bob spent a brief period of time on CBS's The Morning Show. Thankfully, not long after, he was offered a spot on the classic sitcom that we all I can't read, and love. You know what? That's true, because I remember this. I'm going to talk about this now because it's late at night now. It's almost like 1 o'clock in the morning, so I'm probably going to forget by the time I get to this. But anyways, I think apparently they taped a whole pilot episode of Full House without Bob Saget. And I don't know, it just didn't work for some reason. And they went with, Mr. Bob Saget. Yeah. I think he implied one time too, like he felt bad for doing that, But it's just the way it happens, man. I mean, it's not his fault. I mean, the executives should feel bad, But I'm sure they do when they count their checks every night. But yeah, it's shit happens, man. What are you gonna do? Apparently, that happened on Sons of Anarchy too. Before they picked Ron Perlman, I forgot the actor's name. Remember the Training Day? Not the Training Day. Training Day. I don't know why I put that in there. With Denzel there. Yeah, and the one, his one buddy he would go see in the house, and then he ended up shooting him, whatever. That actor, he was in Backdraft. That guy, they taped a whole pilot of Sons of Anarchy with that guy, not Ron Perlman. And I don't know, didn't work or whatever. Then they went to Ron Perlman. So shit like that happens all the time. What are you going to do? I'm full of useless information, guys. Just call me whenever you want. His sister passed away when she was 34 years old. Well, so much for the only child thing. I'm just speaking on my behalf. I just like to be left alone at times. But yeah, sometimes when you grow up in a family, you still want to be left alone. You guys know what I was saying. Don't worry about it. Bob's sister, Andy, passed away of a brain aneurysm at the young age of 34 after developing a critical skin condition known as
Scleroderma.
Guys, there was no way I was going to say that word, so thank you, Google. After losing his sister, he started a foundation to raise awareness called For Hope. That's nice. See, that's what you do. You know what I mean? Like, you pay it forward, make sure other people get money for the research, and hopefully this shit does not happen again. Which is something that we can please keep in mind for COVID, because I don't know. 2 years later, guys, I'm not seeing any improvement here. I don't know. But anyways, shit. He has 3 daughters. Oh, okay. So, ladies, I got nothing for you. But guys, okay, if you have done some shit in your past, okay, if, you decide to be a player, which again, I don't know if Bob Saget was, in his younger days. I mean, who knows? I don't know. I mean, he was really thin, probably has a big, the point is, you know what? You're bound to get some daughters, okay? It's like Jay-Z said, I got demons in my past, so I got daughters on the way. So there you go. Many of you probably know Bob Saget as a father on Full House. That is true. But it turns out he had a full house of his own off screen. Bravo. He is the father of Audrey, Laura, and Jennifer Saget, whom he shares his ex-wife, Sherry Kramer. I said that wrong, but I don't know. The pair got married in 1982. Hey, the year I was born. And divorced in 1997. Good year for hip hop. Yeah, listen, like I said before, just, be careful what you do, if you're a guy, how you treat women, just, there you go. He has never tried the Greek yogurt that John Stamos advertises. Well, that makes two of us. I've never tasted Stamos yogurt before in my life, but I bet it's delicious because he's really very proud of it. It's always dripping out of his mouth. Now, was that meant to be a dirty joke, or I think that was, I think that was Bob Saget taking a shot. I mean, that was, if you got white stuff around your mouth, it looks like you take a shit. The point is, he told that to Maxim. Which Bernie Mac said once on Saturday Night Live, is before you turn on your phone, you see a threesome. But, if you don't have the balls to buy a Playboy, you buy a Maxim. Rest in peace, Bernie Mac. Again, another guy we lost too soon. This just, I don't know. Sorry, guys, again, just give me a sec. God, again, nothing, eh? Okay, all right. Well, I don't. Okay, He has a great advice for up and coming comedians. The key to success in show business, according to Bob Saget, is not to make fame your number one goal. He urges aspiring. See, guys, this is what happens when you record a podcast at 1 a.m. And again, we were just talking about Greeks, so I got fat asses on my mind now. Oh, fuck. Okay, let me try this again. 3, 2, 1. The key to success in show business, according to Bob Saget, is not to make fame your number one goal. He urges aspiring comedians and actors to stick to their craft, and the fame will come naturally. I agree. Said it before and I'll say it again. Cheesy as this sounds, just be yourself. Because in the end, yourself will always be shown. Plain and simple. And shit doesn't happen overnight. And even if it does, you'll probably get canceled the next day. That's this generation, What are you going to do? A lot of pussies out there. The point is, take your time with it. Who gives a shit about fame? Again, the residuals, I guarantee you Bob Saget got for Full House. It just makes it worthwhile, okay? Be Danny Tanner. Be that neat freak, live in a house with two guys. We're going to get into that in a little bit. But the point is, take your time with it, and that's it. So, no, that's not it. I got to go on IMDb here, okay? Why? Because I don't go on Rotten Tomatoes because it's full of shit, okay? They give 98% good ratings to listen, guys, it's owned by Paramount, okay? It's all bullshit. The point is, IMDb's awesome, and let's review Bob Saget's career. So, the very first thing he was in was, it was in 1980, and it was a short called Devices, and he played a therapy patient. Never heard of this. 4.5 out of 10. Chances are no one has either. There's not even a description for this. Wow, okay. MacGruber's on tonight. Okay. You guys remember that? MacGruber! MacGruber! Looking forward to that. The movie bombed. The skits were good on Saturday Night Live, so hopefully they can, But I still like the movie. I don't know. I like this. I'm looking forward to this. The point is, guys, no description, which means it was probably shit. In 1981, he was on a little-known show called Bosom Buddies, and he played Bob the comic. Bit of a stretch. I don't know if you guys remember Bosom Buddies. It was with Peter Scolari and I don't know, some guy named Tom Hanks. And yeah, it was a good little show. They dressed up as women. I mean, this is when people did it, and whatever. I mean, this is before the Illuminati. So yeah, and he was on one episode of that. So there you go. Then he was on a movie, or first movie looks like a Full Moon High. He played a sportscaster. Okay, I could see that. He's today's teenage werewolf. Only the rules have changed. Okay. So again, guys, I forgot. Like in the 80s, they came out with a lot of stupid movies. A lot of movies involving werewolves. Some of them are good. Some of them are bad. Some of them are pointless sequels without Michael J. Fox. But judging by the cover here, I don't know why you'd be running away from a woman that looks like that. But yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, he was in that. Yeah. All right. Then he was in a TV series called At Ease. He played Soldier Number 1. There's a TV series, The Greatest American Hero. New Love, American Style. It's a Living. It's a lot of TV shows. I've never heard of any of these. Then he was in a movie called Critical Condition. Okay, this I do remember. Okay, you got Richard Pryor in there. Not his best movie, I'll give you that. It's got some moments in there, but I remember he spoke very highly of Richard Pryor, as a lot of people do, as we all do, because I still say George Carlin is the best comedian of all time, but I will say this about Richard Pryor, okay? He was probably the best storyteller of all time when it came to stand-up, because he would just put all the shit out there, he didn't give a fuck. So that's what made him Pryor. He's awesome. So yeah, Bob Saget was always very grateful that he got the chance to, obviously be in a film with him. I mean, who wouldn't be? I think he met him like through, the comedic circuit, all that. And I think that's how he probably got this job, just word of mouth, whatever. And, he liked him and, decided to put him in the movie. So there you go. Awesome. All new Mickey Mouse Club. He played Danny Tanner. Okay. We'll get to that in a bit. ABC TGIF, which stands for Thank God It's Friday. Now, obviously, you can't say that now because, if people don't believe in God or, people, that are Leaf fans don't believe in him. But yeah, just, so now it's thank goodness it's Friday. So maybe that's what it always stood for. I don't know. I mean, whatever. The point is, he played Danny Tanner again. Quantum Leap. He was in an episode of that. That was a weird show. I don't know, like about, this guy. What's his name? Scott Bakula. Bakula. Dracula. Sorry. This is a weird show, man. It lasted 97 episodes. That's not bad. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, this show was trippy, man. Very, very, if you get the chance, check it out for sure. I don't give a lot away. But yeah. To Grandmother's House We Go. It's a TV movie. It is short, for goodness sake. The Larry Sanders Show. One of the best comedy shows of all time. Another guy we lost way too soon. Gary Shandling, man. Fuck. That guy was... Fuck. That guy's awesome. Jeffrey Tambor, Rip Torn, bunch of... I mean, basically every episode had like a cameo of somebody. Obviously, you got to put Bob Saget in there, So if you've never seen this show, check it out. It's great. Nothing else to do during COVID, but just, I don't know, apparently watch people die. Father and Scout, this TV movie he did. And, I talked about, a couple things he did, afterwards, whatever. And, the whole Mr. Tanner thing. But, like I said before, in 1987, for Mr. Bob Saget, this was a very good year.
1, 2, 3, 4. La, 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 la. Whatever happened to predictability? The milkman, the paperboy, the evening.
What the fuck is this? Ladies and gentlemen, I thought this was going to be the... Well, I thought it was the only theme. I don't know. I didn't know they made a new one for the new TV show. I don't know. I don't like this. No. I don't. No. This no. This is very unacceptable. Much better. I'm going to let the song play for a little bit because I do enjoy the song. I haven't heard the song in probably at least 25 years. First of all, I just want to point out a couple things. One, I never understood why Danny Tanner was wearing that fakata hat. Okay, I mean, even for that time, you know, like people were like, that's where the whole trucker look came from. I remember people were wearing that, you know. And then Pharrell wore the hat in, you know, the NERD video. Shit, what's the name of that song? Lap Dance. There you go. Yeah, classic album, by the way. In Search of. I always like the original version instead of the remix one. The point is, yeah, that's the first thing. Two, good move having the Greek guy not drive, okay? Especially crossing a bridge, okay? Just, I can say that I'm Greek, so... You know, the Greek jokes are not going to stop there, ladies and gentlemen. But let's just... Whatever happened to predictability? The milkman, the paperboy, evening TV. Now, what's funny about that is nobody reads a newspaper anymore. Ask anybody under the age of 15 what it is. They're just going to look at you weird. Again, you know, good move, by the way, putting John Stamos as the number one guy right here. That's cool. I get that. Is it his car? I don't know. Have I ever walked the street and just posed, you know, in front of a car to make myself look cooler? Sure. You know, that's what we do. So, yeah, flannel shirt, you know, it's all good, man. Don't worry. Did I get delivered here? Somebody tell me, please. Now, this is why I could never live in San Francisco. You show Bob Saget here coming up. It's too many hills. Up, down, you know. I don't know. I love the movie The Rock, you know, but that chase scene, I mean, again, it just reminds you, you know. It's too much, you know. I hope you're insured. So, yeah. He was the second guy, which I didn't know. You assume, you know, because he was kind of the main guy in the house there, that it would be, you know, more about him. You know, he would be the first guy. But again, I'm Greek, so I'm not going to complain. Got Dave Coulier, who does probably the best Popeye impersonation you've ever heard in your life. Again, the flannel around the waist. That was a big thing in the late 80s, early 90s. You know, like at first it was just a comfort thing, you know, because, you know, we didn't feel like carrying the shirt. You know, a lot of us did not have knapsacks, despite what Kanye West says. You know, so we're like, okay, let's just tie it around our waist, you know, and then, you know, rollerblade, that was a big thing in the, you know, late 80s, early 90s, you know. You rarely see that anymore. But then again, I live in Canada where it's like cold at least 8-9 months of the year. You know, yeah, you'll see the odd rollerblader, but you know, you don't. You know, and nobody rollerblades anymore. So, Candace Cameron, who for years, that's the dude. Oh fuck! You know what? I'm so stupid. Kirk Cameron, that's the guy that got offered coke in Growing Pains. Yeah. You know the show with Leonardo DiCaprio at the end there? Yeah, that's okay. And they're brother and sister. And again, I never put those two together until like recently. So yeah, they are brother and sister. But then again, I didn't know Ben Savage and Fred Savage were brothers either. You know, the guy from Wonder Years and the dude from Boy Meets World. I know, right? She ended up marrying Valerie Bure, who is the brother of Pavel Bure, both hockey players. Dave Coulier actually introduced them, so I thought that was pretty cool. They're still married to this day. Been married for quite some time, actually. So, again, guys, the random facts will never stop. Jodie Sweden. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought of all of them, like, she was the cutest. So yeah, and she's had a pass. Let's just say that. But she was able to get out of it. It's all good there. So moving on. Lori Logan. How do you say that? It doesn't matter. When you look like that, you can call yourself whatever you want. Remember she was in that Seinfeld episode too? Yeah. She's a good-looking woman, man. Lovely woman. Stamos got her on the show. It's a big win for Greece right there. She was involved in that the scandal there. Yeah, with her kid there, and yeah, that was a whole thing, man. Apparently that whole scandal, like, it had something to do, like, it had nothing to do with her daughter getting into school, or getting her daughter into the school with money or whatever, like, when I first heard that story, I'm like, yeah, doesn't that fucking happen every day? I mean, the whole Bush family, depends on that shit. But it has something to do with them, like, I think, I'm speculating, I don't know, guys, I think this is what I heard, so allegedly, I'm gonna say, because, the four people that listen to this, they might spread rumors. Something to do with them, like, getting players for teams illegally. It almost made it sound like that. I don't know. Was that Sandra Bullock movie that she did with the big black guy? I don't know. Like, trying to, like, based on true story there. I don't know. I forgot what it was called. I don't know. Invincible, Miracle. I don't know. Something like that. The point is, it was kind of like that. So. Andrea Barber. I always thought she was cute too. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of people, I liked her. And you got the two twins. Obviously not the most famous twins on the show, but I don't know. I guess if it ain't broken, don't fix it. Blake and Dylan. Tuomi. Will Hoyt? I didn't get the name of the dog, but they did have a dog, didn't they? Yeah, I forgot about that shit. But yeah, there you go. There's a thing in Hollywood where, a lot of people, if they get a kid, on a show, they usually have a double, a triple there, because you're only allowed to have a kid for only an hour on set per day. Because then if you do go over that, it's considered child labor. So, again, facts. And there you have Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen as Michelle. So it was funny because, like, back in the day, it's not like today you look up shit and whatever. Like we didn't know these people were twins. You know what I mean? So, and man, I don't know, the world was obsessed with these people. Holy shit. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I mean, they grew up to be whatever, but I don't know. I never saw the big deal. I don't know. Like, I thought the whole thing going for them is that they were twins, but I remember going to Greece in 2000, carry the Stamos tradition. I mean, my cousin had, like, all the videos and shit. I mean, like, I never realized how big they were until you go overseas. I mean, obviously, we're used to them on TV and all the merchandise, whatever, but you go overseas, it's fucking everywhere. So, these two girls, they were absolutely making some good money. So I think is that it, or? guys. You get it. Yeah, so this show was fucking huge. I mean, I guess technically it still is. I mean, it still airs somewhere. They brought it back for whatever, 4 seasons there, the Fuller House. That's classic. Again, you got the Greek wearing the light blue suit jacket, but he's still wearing a white t-shirt underneath. So again, representing the Greek flag. I love it. Why are they all hanging out at the fucking pier? Who knows? Again, at the time, I got a lot of gay jokes because there was 3 dudes, living together. And I will say this, though, okay? If anybody wants to know if this show is ever accurate, I can tell you from a Greek perspective, it is absolutely accurate. You had John Stamos, who wanted to be a singer, so that's Greek right there. On top of that, he was living, I guess they didn't have a basement, but he was living, worst case scenario, in the attic, okay? So whenever you have a Greek staying at your house, they never stay on the main floor, not even on the bedroom floor. They have to stay in the basement or the attic. So again, spot on. Then on top of that, he got married, okay? Still living with them. He had kids, still living there. This fits the stereotype to a fucking T. And I'm even going to prove it to you. So I had a friend whose sister, nobody, I moved out of the house when I was 22. Okay, being Greek and Italian, that's like moving out when you're 8. So, again, that's going to be a long story I'll tell one day. But the point is, you basically stay there till you die. Okay, my friend's father, this is how Greek he was. He wanted to build a house in the backyard because he felt he was entitled to do that because the yard was so big that you could fit another house there. Of course, this isn't the Horio, which means village. You can't just, plant everything from a 2-story house to an olive tree back there. There are zoning laws. You have to abide to them in the great city of Toronto. And on top of that, my friend's sister there, again, got married, had a kid, living in the basement. I guess the attic wasn't big enough. But so what I'm trying to say here, guys, this show was 100% accurate, okay? You had a Greek guy living up there. Was the character of Danny Tanner gay? I don't know. Like at one point, I think he did go out with a girl, didn't he? Or a little bit? I don't know. He was a bit of a neat freak though, right? I don't know. Is that a red flag there? But then he had a buddy. He had a buddy who did voices and had his own show, and so it was. I don't know. I'm just saying this show was pretty accurate, guys. That's all I'm gonna say. And I enjoyed watching this show. On Thank God It's Friday. I can say that because I'm Greek Orthodox. You watch. Okay, I think it was Full House first, and then Family Matters came, and actually that was a funny episode of Full House when Urkel first showed up, and then I think later on that's how he got the show, and if it wasn't for him, there would be no Family Matters, and there's a whole thing there. And Carl Winslow plays a cop, and he played a cop in a bunch of shit like Die Hard and Ghostbusters and Perfect Strangers. How those 2 Malakas got 2 hot women like that, who the fuck knows? But the point is, Full House was very accurate. I clearly never got laid on Friday nights, so I just had this to watch. What was the other show I liked with Duffy there? Step by Step, Suzanne Summers, that was good too. There's probably another one there, I don't know. Was it Dinosaurs? No, that was on another night, I think. Remember that show, Dinosaurs? I'm the baby, gotta love me. That show had one of the most saddest endings of all time. Again, we knew what happened to dinosaurs, the whole meteorite, kaboom. But holy shit, man. They didn't prep us for that at all. But the point is, Full House is a very good show. I enjoyed it. Have I watched the new one? No. But I assume it's just as good, Yeah, so when you get a chance, check it out. Moving on. The Jeff Foxworthy Show. I forgot he had one. Yeah, he showed up as Bob Saget. Okay, makes sense. Him, the Larry the Cable Guy, Ron White. Oof, those are some funny dudes right there. They went on tour. They made a shit ton of money off that for sure. Is it Full House money? Who knows? The Naked Truth TV series. He was in an episode of Ellen. Oh no, two of them. One in 95, one in 97. Meet Wally Sparks. Very funny Rodney Dangerfield movie. Like I said before, very close to Rodney, as I told the story before. He played reporter number 4. I don't know, maybe he was pissed off because the daughter ratted on him because the joint, whatever, 1, 2, 3, no, 4, yeah. Half Baked, cocaine addict, uncredited. Bullshit he was. That was one of the funnier scenes in that movie. So at the time, he was directing Dirty Work, okay, which to me is one of the, I'm not gonna say one of the funniest movies of all time, but it's definitely a cult classic for sure, according to Artie Lang and Vanity Fair. But no, in all seriousness, he directed that movie. I think it was the first movie he ever directed. Did not make a lot of money. But according to Norm Macdonald, which again, we've, how the fuck did we lose Norm Macdonald and Bob Saget within 4 months? I mean, what the guys, hold on a sec. God, again, if you could, no, you're still busy up there? Yeah. Yeah. COVID. That's okay. Fuck. The point is, yeah. So he was making that movie, and he's like, "Oh yeah, let me pop in one scene here for this movie," and by golly, it was fucking hilarious.
Hi everyone. My name is Thurgood. Hi. I'm here today because I'm addicted to marijuana.
You in here for some marijuana? Marijuana? Man, this is some bullshit.
Marijuana is not a drug. I used to suck dick for coke.
I seen them.
Now that's an addiction, man. You ever suck some dick for marijuana? No, I can't say I have. I didn't think so.
Who's this man?
I seen him. Classic. If you've never seen Half Baked, absolutely you gotta see that movie. Although Chappelle said that they made a weed movie for kids. There was supposed to be like an R-rated version. Yeah, I mean, if it's still out there, who the fuck knows? But there's also an R-rated version of Dirty Work out there somewhere, which, oh man, I mean, again, Norm passed, Bob Saget is now passed. I mean, we got to get that movie out there. We got to get some petition out there, to get the release of Dirty Work, the R-rated version. Okay, we have to see those donuts on Artie Lang's dick. Okay, but anyways, yeah, Dirty Work was great. I loved it. I don't give a shit what anybody says. A funny story, actually, that I swear to God, this just happened to me recently. Gordon Martindale. I hope I said that last name right. Sorry, man, if I didn't. Actually, to be honest with you, at the time, I didn't know the guy's full name. I just remember Gordon, but then, But anyways, so the reporter at the end, remember, like, he gets hit in the head with the Norm's recorder there. He's like, son of a bitch, bastard. That guy, he was actually, his name's Gordon. He was a CDTV reporter in Toronto. Very funny guy. Him and Mark Daly, rest in peace. Always love those dudes. But anyways, I was doing a gig one time, just recently, and I see him, and I didn't know what to say, and I just looked at him and I just pointed. I go, CDTV, and he looked at me and he's like, yeah, yeah, and then. Again, I didn't know what to say. I was like, I loved you in Dirty Work. and there was kind of a pause, and like I didn't know how he was gonna react to that. Like, I mean, like I'm sure he never gets that because he's only in it for like I don't know, maybe like a minute or something, like just a few scenes, and he goes, "Dirty work. That was a good day. That was a good day." He was totally cool about it. So I just wanted to put that story out there. But Gordon, you're awesome, man. But yeah, Dirty Work is awesome. I think I've said that at least 3 times, but it is. I mean, the cast is great. It was funny because like Don Rickles would be on set and like Artie Lang told the story how like nobody really respected like Bob Saget. Like no one just like Don Rickles was on some show and like he said something like or someone asked him like how's your career going, and he says, oh, it's going great, I'm doing Casino with Robert De Niro, and now I'm doing Dirty Work with Bob Saget, it's going great. So and then he tried to give like actors notes, like Jack Warden, who's in one of the first seasons of the original Twilight Zone. He was great. We lost him a few years ago. Rest in peace to him too. And and this guy's a veteran at this point. And then Bob Saget's just like giving him like pointers and all that, what to do. And they ask like, "Oh, Mr. Warden, are you ready for your scene?" He's like, yeah, just let me go back to Bob Saget's notes." Like nobody respected Bob Saget. Like it was just funny because like he's such a nice guy, and I don't know. I mean, but like I think he made such a great movie with Dirty Work. I love it. If you ever have the chance, I've said this before and I've said this a million times, you have to see this movie. It's a great movie, great cast of people. Definitely check it out. So yeah. Then he did a TV short, Sorority. By the way, I just realized like every time I go on a rant with something and then like I have like the worst segues. I just have a pause and then I go to the next movie that you've probably never heard of, and I don't know. I'm not perfect, guys. Becoming Dick. What the fuck is this? As a TV movie, he played Bob, uncredited. He plays himself in a lot of movies. The story of a struggling New York actor, Williams, who discovers the formula for success and suddenly finds himself more rich and famous than he could have imagined. I don't know. Someone should have told me he did Full House already. He's already there. Anyways, so yeah, he showed up in an episode of Norm, which is obviously the Norm Macdonald show. I always liked that show. I think it was on for 3-4 seasons, something like that. So again, good little cast of people. Putting the father from Alf, rest in peace to him. He played Norm's boss, so I thought that was a good contrast. It didn't start. It was some other guy before that. He was an angry guy, but I don't know. It's better for Norm's persona to I just picture him like driving Alf's not Alf's dad, but Alf's I guess stepfather technically, right? Nuts. So yeah, I mean, Alf did the same thing to him, right? So it just works. But the point is, Mr. Saget was on one episode there. Then he was in a show called Raising Dad. This is him. Okay. It's got looks like Hesh from Sopranos. Yeah, it is Jerry Adler. Yeah, it is. Okay. Brie Larson was in this. Kat Dennings was in this. Andy Kindler, Megan Good. Wow, I never heard of the show. Okay, I don't know. Maybe it's one of those shows I remember. Well, it only lasted 1 season, so I don't know. It looks like they tried to do another Full House here, but yeah, you can't. Nah. Dumb and Dumb when Harry Met Lloyd. I've never seen this movie. I'm very proud of it. I'm just assuming he did this movie for the paycheck. I mean, after Full House and America's Funniest Home Videos, was this necessary, Mr. Saget? I mean, really? It just if you like this movie, I hate you. Then he was in a show called Huff. TV movie Prior Offenses. I'm assuming it has Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor has made a successful career. Yep, that's okay. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I guessed right. Listen Up, TV series. Madagascar. He played a zoo animal, which I did not know. I did not know he was in that. Casper's Scare School TV movie. Law and Order Special Victims Unit. That's right, folks. Even if you're just starting out in your career, or you're about to blow big, or if you have nothing else to do between other random TV shows and you got a shit ton of money from two very big big shows. What? And yeah, you feel like doing a Law and Order episode, you can. So there you go. Jamie Kennedy and Stu Stone featuring Bob Saget, Rolling with Saget music video. I always liked Jamie Kennedy. I always thought he was a funny dude. I mean, Jamie Kennedy's a dude, that tells the whole speech and scream there, like, oh, here are the rules and whatever. Again, he was in a shitty sequel too, The Mask 2, which, fuck, I don't know. Like, like, you know what it is? Like, it's one of those situations where you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't do it, then people are going to be like, well, if the movie's a hit, then you're, but it's like, it's not going to be a hit. There's no Jim Carrey in there. But then again, it's a good little paycheck, and, what are you going to do? I don't know. Malibu's Most Wanted, I don't know. I thought that was okay. Farce of the Penguins, The Tuttles, Madcap Misadventures, video game. Said it before, and I'll say it a million times after. Voiceover work, you go in there, you record your shit, done. Free radio, TV series, Surviving Suburbia, another TV series. He was in quite a few episodes of this. That's because it looks like it was his show. Judging by the picture of him just sitting at the curb with his hands on his head, it pretty much says it all. It was only on for, 13 episodes? Okay. The Bus, Shorty did. Entourage. Okay, so this is funny because he would like Entourage is a show, where it's based on Mark Wahlberg's, loosely based on, the things he went through, younger in his career when he was acting, whatever. And his buddies, whatever, doing with certain situations. And, the show had tons of cameos. Sometimes people would just pop in for 2 seconds. Sometimes they'd have a good little role in an episode. Bob Saget here, it looks like he was in 4 episodes, always played himself, he's always funny in there, so nice little show. The movie, I don't know, that's a story for a different time. Although I heard they're going to bring back the show. So I guarantee you, if they bring back the show, they're definitely, you would have definitely seen Bob Saget in there, but obviously not anymore. But so hopefully it's better than the movie. Law and Order LA. Why not? Episode of Louis. Yeah. I know what happened. Okay. But still, I still think it's a great show. I stand by that. I don't know what to tell you. And he was in 1 episode there. The Life and Times of Tim TV series. Super Fun Night TV series. And between 2005 to 2014, he was the narrator, playing the father in the future. For some reason, he sounded different than the actual character. I don't know, because the character was already grown. Like, even Family Guy made that reference already. But, again, someone comes up to you and says, you know what, you're going to be on a show for 9 years. You don't have to do any acting. You go into a studio maybe once, twice a week, say some lines, you get a paycheck. Who's not going to say yes to that? Thank you. Then Legit TV series, played Bob. In the Entourage movie, he played Bob Saget. I don't know. Was it for tax purposes? He never changed his name, or I don't know. Grandfathered TV series, Robot Chicken, funny show. I got to be honest with you, to this day, I still don't like that title. They went through certain titles. One of them was Toys in the Attic, which I always thought was a cool title. I don't know why they didn't go with that, but again, I love Seth Green. Not just for Austin Powers, but he's a funny dude. I like him. And it's a very funny show. So if you got a chance, check it out. A stand-up guy. It was a movie he did. David's Vlog, a TV series. Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. He played Danny Tanner in some little skit here featuring Zach Galifianakis. He always teams up with Greeks. Ronda Rousey, Pitbull featuring Robin Thicke, Joe Perry, and Travis Barker. So I assume it's some kind of musical montage. Will Jimmy Fallon laugh? I mean, time will tell. Will a siren go by? Time will tell. I'm going to keep recording. I don't care. Michael Bolton's big, sexy Valentine's Day special. Like I said, Nightcap, Level Up, Norge, TV series he did. The Good Cop, Shameless. Oh yeah, he was in an episode of that. Okay, there you go. That ambulance is probably for Frank. Benjamin, a movie he did. Historical Roast, TV series. He did a lot of TV stuff afterwards. Just always keep him busy. I mean, that's one thing you got to give him credit for. He never, took those residuals and just said, "Fuck it, I'm going to keep going." So, and he kept doing the stand-up too, just in the last couple of years. So there you go. Who the F is Mike Young? I don't know, but he played Bob again. And then 2016, 2020, he, 4 years again, did the same role as Danny Tanner. Why not? So, yeah, guys, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. And then he did Bob Saget's Here You For You podcast series he did. The Masked Singer, I did a couple episodes of that. Just Headlines podcast series. And the very last thing he did was in 2021 called Killing Daniel, where he played a character named Lawrence. It says here, Daniel's plan to reconnect with his family hits a snag when he discovers they all want to kill him for his inheritance. Well, we should all be so lucky. But the point is, he always kept busy. I mean, that's one thing you got to give him credit for. 2 hit shows on for a long time. America's Funniest Home Videos. Yeah, there's some funny videos there. I remember, I remember the one video. It was some black kid just yelling out like, "I'm gonna do my ABCs, A, B, C, D," and I think he won. I think he won like 10 grand for doing that. So I mean, back then, we sent in VHS tapes, and I lived in Canada. I couldn't do shit because you had to be American, and I'm screwed again. Whatever. But the point is, he just kept going, man. So yeah, why not? Fuck, what else are you gonna do, man? You're gonna just sit in the house all day with COVID? Well, okay, yeah, we got no choice there. But the point is, he just kept going, man. I thought that was cool. So I was looking up a couple of quotes that he said. One here I thought was pretty good. He said, "When you're famous, you're always famous. It doesn't go away." And you're right. It's funny how he had almost like 2 careers in the sense where, he had the TV career, that was kind of like the nice guy persona. And then he had this whole other different career, of him being a comedian and fucking dirty. And I'm not going to say the shit he said because 1, I can't do it justice. 2, I'm Greek Orthodox. I'm sure John Stamos would say it a lot better than I can. But yeah, so he had to play off that as well. And if anything, it helped because, like you said before, people thought he was a clean guy. So when he was dirty, it came across as extra dirty. So I don't know, everything just worked out for him. I thought he had a pretty kick-ass career here. So, but again, guys, we lost him way too soon, 65. We don't know the causes yet. Yeah, man, this is a really shitty year. Like I said before with Sidney Poitier there. Yeah, I didn't do a podcast on John Madden. Probably won't do one on Sidney Poitier, just simply because, one, I'm not a big football fan. Two, I don't know a lot about Sidney Poitier. But I do know this, that To Sir with Love is an excellent movie. One of my dad's favorite movies. And we had a bet. Not so much a bet, but, he wanted me to watch the movie. And then the second one that came out at the time during the 90s there. And I told him, you should watch Dangerous Minds. And in retrospect, that was a really stupid bet. I got to be honest with you. I mean, he never did watch it. In retrospect, I don't blame him. But then again, my dad still thinks that Nia Long is the black woman in the Michael Jackson's Thriller video. You still owe me $100 for that. But the point is, this movie was one of his best.
Potter, I can't think of anything that could excuse your behavior.
Yeah, but it was him, sir. He made Pat do it. Pat said he couldn't do it. That bloody bully's always had it in for him.
I'm not concerned with Mr. Bell's behavior, but yours. Suppose instead of a piece of wood, a gun or a knife had been handy, eh? What then?
It was not. It was all not. That leader was in the wrong, and you blackballed it.
You're missing the point, Denham. You all are. In a few weeks, you will be going out into the world. Are you going to use a weapon every time someone makes you angry? You're supposed to be learning self-discipline here. Potter, you owe Mr. Bell an apology.
No. Why should he apologize just because Bell's a bleeding teacher, eh?
You better answer that, Potter. Do you think you behave like an adult?
Ooh. Damn. I thought Denzel Washington scared me in Training Day. Fuck me. Mod on. That stare that he would do. It's crazy. That's for you, Dad. But anyways, this is a shitty year, man. We're only in day 9. Now it's past midnight and I'm tired, and it's technically 10, and I don't know, guys. I mean, it just Bob Saget was just such a nice dude. You know what I mean? I they always say the good die young, and it's true. I don't know. God has his reasons, but fuck if I know what they are. But one last thing I like to say is if you got a chance, I always like to give people something to listen to on YouTube because I can only talk for so long. I'm not my father. Well, the thing about geraniums is, I get it, Dad. The point is, you like flowers, cool. The point is, go on YouTube, put in Artie Lang Uncensored on the Radio Misfits podcast, number 32, The Great Bob Saget. This is a great interview that they did a few years ago. What's even eerier is that I was listening to it a bit before I did this podcast, and they got a couple bits, whatever, with Artie, people mentioning Artie, and one of them was Betty White. So, I'm reminded of that now. I'm reminded of Bob Saget, and they're just shooting the shit. They're reminiscing on them talking about Dirty Work, that whole experience. And it's so funny too, because I was just thinking like a few days ago, like to do a podcast about Dirty Work, and I still might. So there's a lot of good stuff there I want to talk about. But this man, this is a shitty year, man. This is January 9th, 10th, whatever, dude. Anyways, so I just wanted to do this podcast, about Bob Saget, and tell you guys that he's a nice guy. I may not have seen everything that he was in, but I saw a lot of the main things, and very funny guy. And he will definitely be missed. So, just like to say, rest in peace to a very good guy. And in many ways, we grew up with him being another great TV father. One of the better ones, for sure. Mr. Danny Tanner, a.k.a. Bob Saget.